Just real quick, wipe the front facing, and we're ready to begin. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Am I angled a little crazy? Yes. Angle up the cameras a little bit. Boom. And that looks good. All right, we're ready to begin. I'm gonna grab this, scoot that back here, grab this, scoot that back here, and we're ready to get started. It is 9 p.m. It is 9:02. We're going to do 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility. Let's get ready to go. The first thing we're going to do is warm up. And the warm up we're going to do is going to start with some hip cars. Hip cars look like this. We're going to start by lifting our legs up as high as we can directly in front. All right? We're going to lift, 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 lift. From here, we're going to open up that hip to the side. Going to point it way far out there. Breathe, chill for a second. Then we're going to rotate. We're going to bring this ankle up and bring the knee forward. All right. From here, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep bringing the knee down. We're going to keep on bringing the ankle up until you're almost feeling a cramp here in the hamstring. Then we're going to bring the leg down and back. All right. When you're here, down and back, flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, feel the stretch right here in the hip flexor, and that is 1 rep. We're going to do 10 of these on the left side, 10 of these on the right side. Let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's 1 high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's 2 high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's 3 high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's 4 high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's 5 high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's 6 high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's 7. Woo! I'm about to get a hamstring cramp. High knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's 8 high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's 9 high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's 10. Woo! We are warming up our hips because this is a side splits and hip mobility show. We do this every single day at 9 p.m. and this is the very, 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 very beginning. So hop on in, hang out, do some warm up, and if you like the show, hit follow, hit subscribe. You can keep coming back because we're live every day at this time. All right, other leg. Stand nice and straight. Focus on keeping that core nice and strong. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's 1. I'm going to do a couple facing the other way so you can see it from the side. High knee. Open. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's 2. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's 3. Woo. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. If you are feeling like balance is a struggle, feel free to hold on to something, grab something for support. All right. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. I think that's 4. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 5. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 6. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 7. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 9. Last one. High knee. Really focus on lifting the knee. High. Open. Open wider. Open a little bit wider. Rotate the ankle up. Rotate it some more. Rotate it a little bit more until you're about to cramp. Bring that leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings. Flex the glutes. Feel the stretch right here. And we are done. Whew. That is 10 reps going forward. Take a quick second. Shake out the legs. Do a little dance. We're going to go in reverse. All right. When we go in reverse, one thing I want you to notice is that don't want you to be kicking this leg back and going crazy with it. All right. We don't want to put a whole bunch of pressure in the low back. This stretch, this warm up is coming from the hip, right? So when we flex the hamstrings, when we flex the glutes, we're bringing the leg back. We want to feel it here and not here, right? If you are feeling it way back up here in the back, you're probably doing something like this. You're really kicking that leg far back and you're putting the arch right here where my hands are, all right? To prevent that, there's 2 things you can do. 1, don't kick your leg that far back. 2, keep your core really tight, really strong, and that should prevent your back from being able to go like this. All right? We are not twerking. Cool? Let's go. Let's begin. Stick your hand up to a wall if you need help with balance, and keep the core tight. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's one. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's two. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's three. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. Four. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's five. I'll do a couple facing you so it's easier to mirror. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's six. Four more. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's seven. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's eight. Two more. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's nine. Last one. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 10. Oh, man. Okay. We got one last leg to do, and then we'll be done. There are currently 170 of you over on TikTok and 12 on YouTube. If you're just joining in, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we're about to do a little bit more fun. So if you like that, if you like side splits, hip mobility, consistency, keep on coming back 9 p.m. every single night, which means we started like 5 minutes ago. And hit follow, hit subscribe. Cool? All right, let's go. We got last tip. Let's do this. Core nice and tight. Bring that leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Feel the stretch right here in the front. Lift that leg to the side. Lift it up. Rotate the ankle up. Bring the knee down. Then do the opposite. Bring the ankle down. Bring the knee up. From here, bring that knee forward. And we are done with one rep. I'm going to do a couple facing that way. I'm going to do a couple facing you guys so it's easier to mirror. All right, let's go. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Lift to the side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's two. Back. Side. Ankle up, ankle down, knee. Again, if you have struggling. So if you're struggling with balance, stick your hand out against the wall, hold on to something for a little bit of support. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's three. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's four. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's five. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. Six. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. Seven. Three more. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's eight. Two more. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's nine. Last one. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 10. Woo! Those are hip cars. That is our first warm-up exercise. We're going to move right on into warm-up exercise number 2. That is the elephant walk. What I want you to do is fold at the hips. Bring your belly button down into the ground, like so. If you have a tight low back, this is your chance to let it relax. Inhale. Exhale, and try and just drape your body forward. Let those muscles in the low back relax a little bit, and breathe. Whew. As your back relaxes, your hamstrings should start feeling that stretch a little bit more. All right. What we want to do here is we're going to add a little bit of movement. We're going to bend one knee. We're going to straighten out the other leg. We're going to fold our belly button down to the ground. If you can't get quite as low, if you're stuck a little bit higher up like this, that's absolutely fine. It is where you are at, and that's where you're starting. All right. As you work on this position, I want you to focus on bringing the belly button down as much as you can. All right, let's go. Switch to the other side. One leg is bent, one leg is straight. Keep on switching. You'll feel it in your hamstrings. You'll feel it sort of here in the glutes. That is probably because your hamstrings become tendons, and then the tendons attach to the bottom of your pelvis. The bottom of your pelvis, when you're folded forward like this, kind of feels like the bottom of your butt. All right, so if you're feeling that in your butt, that's probably what it is. Okay. Whew. We're going to do 5 more seconds of these. I want you to really focus on bringing the belly button down a little bit deeper as you switch from side to side. 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, pop into a little bit of squat. Come on back into standing, and that is warm up exercise 2. Shake out your legs, shake out your hips, do a little dance, and we're gonna get into stretch. Sorry, warm up exercise number 3. All right. From here, we are going to do a little bit of thoracic rotation. The thoracic spine is basically right here, below your neck, above your low back. It's designed to move. And we generally don't do very much movement. So we're going to do some thoracic rotation right now. And that, when you're standing, looks a little bit like this. We're twisted, all right? But we're going to take that position where you're just in, where one leg is bent, one leg is straight. We're folding forward. We're going to take the arm from the bent leg side. We're going to reach across to the straight leg. We're going to push against that leg and help rotate and open up our chest. We're going to rotate our necks to look at our hands that are extended up into the air behind us. We're going to reach over our shoulder, over our back, and we are going to breathe. Inhale, exhale. And on the exhale, I want you to reach a little further. That is half a rep. We got to do 5 in total. Let's finish up the other side first. This leg is bent. This leg is straight. The bent arm is reaching across to the straight leg. We're pushing against that shin to help open up that chest. Open, 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 open. Breathe. On the exhale, reach a little further. Do 2 if you want. Exhale. That is officially 1 rep. I talk fast. I want to have everybody get as much information as possible so they can jump right into the exercise. That does not mean you have to move fast, all right? Take it as slow as you like. Breathe, relax. If you feel like you're hyperventing, slow it down. Chill, all right? Let's continue. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Push, reach, breathe, exhale. That's 2, part 1. Other side, bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Reach. On the exhale, reach a little further. That is officially 2 reps. We got 3 more. Bent leg, bent arm, straight leg, open. 3. Other side. Whew. 3. Whew. 2 more. Bent leg, bent arm, straight leg, open. Inhale, exhale. Reach a little further on the exhale. That's 4. Other side. One more. And final rep. We're going for rep number 5. Let's go. Bent leg, bent arm, straight leg, open. Reach, 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 reach. Breathe. Other side to finish it up. Take your time. And that is some thoracic rotation. The shoulders might be feeling a little bit tired because they probably never work that hard reaching behind you in your normal life. That is okay. What we care about is that your back is moving a little bit looser. So pull off some dance moves and let's get ready to move on into our final warm-up exercise, number 4, the Cossack switch. You don't have to hop in right away. I'm going to demonstrate and then we'll talk about how to get into it a little bit together. All right. The Cossack switch looks a little bit like this. Our starting position is a deep squat on one leg and basically a side split on the other leg. This is going to be really hard, so you can hold off on starting for a second. We're going to get our butts over to the other side. We're going to try and sit and get deep into this stretch, and we're going to come back. That is 1 rep. For most of us, our ankles or knees or hips are going to struggle with that a little bit. So let's pre-stretch that movement. What I want you to do is from standing, and you can join in now, is to hop into a little bit of a squat. All right. It's all right if your heels come off the ground. In fact, I recommend it because I want your knees to point forward. I want your chest to fold forward, and I want you to fold over and put pressure on that Achilles tendon right here. We're trying to bring our knees and our toes together. When you're here, chill, breathe, relax. We're stretching out our ankles. We're stretching out, and we're chilling. Once you've hung out here for a little bit, I want you to see if you can add a little bit of gentle movement. All right. How much you do is completely up to you. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to do any at all. But if you can, I want you to try to push one knee forward or down, push the other knee forward and down, and then keep on switching back and forth and see if you can maintain balance. I want you to try to open up one leg to the side. I want you to open the other leg. I want you to do both at the same time, and I want you to turn it into some dance moves. All right. We are trying to get our ankles, our hips, our knees ready because the Cossack switch is going to be a little bit more demanding, and the little bit of movement you're doing now is going to help prep them for what's coming up. All right, let's get into the next step. It's time for some actual Cossack switches. From this squatting folded position, I want you to stick your hands straight down into the ground. I want you to extend one leg off to the side, like so. Then I want you to stand so that your heel on the other leg is down. All right. When that heel is down, it's going to help you stay stable, and we want stability because there's a lot of movement happening. All right. Next, I want you to get as low as you can while keeping this heel down. If for some of you that means you're this high up, that's absolutely fine. If you're a little bit more flexible, you can get a little bit deeper. Great. Take it, get deeper. Just keep that heel down on the ground. All right. Next, we're going to move our butts over that away. Feel free to use your hands. Give yourself a little bit of support. Crawl over and switch to the other side so that this leg is doing the squat and now this leg is doing the side split. Whew. Once you're here on this side, inhale, exhale. Try to squish a little bit deeper into that stretch and then use your hands, walk them back all the way to the other side. That is our first rep. We're doing 10 of these in total. You got plenty to get started. Let's continue. Let's go. Again, if you're higher up, absolutely fine. All right. Bring the hips over to the other side. Breathe. Sink into it a little bit. Come on back over. That is 2 reps. Feel free to keep going with your hands down. Over. Breathe and sink into it. Back. Breathe and sink into it. 4. Breathe and sink into it. Oh. Next, if you don't want to use your hands anymore, you're feeling like you're really strong, feel free to skip the hands. And 5. And 6. Next, if you're starting to feel a little tenderness in the knee, a little achiness from this in-between position, we can change up the movement pattern, all right? Instead of going across sideways, you can come up a little bit first, make it a little bit easier on the knees, come across, and then sink down, all right? So that we get the benefit of the stretch at the bottom, but we get less knee pressure in the middle. That does not mean that you should always do these every time. We do want to slowly build up some tolerance for the exercise that we were doing. So feel free to do a combination of both. All right. I think this is 8, maybe. I kind of lost count. But keep going, and we'll count this as number 9. It's time for the last one. We got one last variation, one last option. If your knees are able to handle it and you feel good about this, you can turn this into a squat. All right. This leg is going to power through. You're going to come back, boom, into standing. And then you're going to come off, slowly sink into this side. And then, boom, that is your Cossack squat. Finish off on this side. Bring that leg in, and we have done 10 reps. We're done with our warm-up. If this is your first time on the show and you're like, wait, that's the warm-up? Wait, does this get harder? Don't worry. This is a stretching and hip mobility show. We're doing side splits and hip mobility. And so far, what we've done is warm up our muscles, get our hips ready for some really intense stretching, okay? So we're going to move right on into our 5 stretches. But first, I should remind you to follow and subscribe and keep coming back because we do this live every day at 9 o'clock, which means we started 20 minutes ago. And we do this Monday through Sunday every single day at 9 o'clock. All right? All right, 5 stretches. First thing we're going to do is go find a little bit of cushioning, a little bit of padding. You don't have to have foam or fancy tools or anything like that. If you have a stuffed animal you don't care about, boom, under your knee. If you have a dog toy that is so beaten up that the dog doesn't even want it, boom, stick it under your knee. If you have dirty laundry, roll it up, stick it under your knee. Couch cushions, decorative pillows, actual pillows, whatever you want, dog bed. The dog's been naughty today, punish it, take its bed away. That's so mean. Okay, you get what I'm saying. Anything with a little bit of foam goes right under your knee, and we're ready to begin. I want you to start by bringing both your knees together right underneath you, like you're standing up straight, but your knees are bent. All right? With your legs together, I want you to take a look at what your hips are doing. They're right underneath you, right? From the side, we're standing right straight up. I want you to maintain this hip angle as much as you can. All right. The reason why I'm saying this is because we tend to get excited for the next part. We're going to extend one leg directly in front of us, and I want it to look a little bit like this. I almost want you to pull that leg in towards your hips. All right. I don't want you to start doing a front split and start twisting all over the place. This leg is really far forward. You're feeling that crazy hamstring stretch. This hip is kind of back, and now your whole body is kind of twisting. That is a lot. It's complicated. It's too much. It makes it hard to focus on the hamstring stretch. All right. So pull that hip back in, and we're ready to fold. Bring this belly button down to that leg. Fold, 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 fold. Whew. When you are feeling a hamstring stretch, wherever it is that you are feeling it, and you're going, oh, okay, hello, hamstring, that is a good time to chill and breathe. All right. What I want you to do is just inhale and exhale. Oh, and just try your best to chill. Keep on breathing. And relax. Relax your hamstrings, relax your calves, relax your feet, relax your toes. Just drape your body over that leg and chill. Oh, breathe a couple more times. If at some point you're feeling like the knee is getting a little bit sensitive, maybe chill a little bit less. Use a couple more muscles. Give that knee a little bit of structure. Give that knee a little bit of support, and we'll be ready to continue. Next, we're going to inhale, exhale, fold. It is quite literally, as I said, inhale, take a big breath in, exhale slowly, and at the same time as we exhale, we're going to fold. All right, we're going to bring the belly button down to the thigh, which is very intentional, very intense. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Fold, 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 fold. Woo! You are now in a deeper stretch. It might not be that much deeper, but you put a concentrated effort into folding forward, and that is what counts. From here, your hamstring is going to feel way more stretched out. Breathe, chill. Once again, toes, feet, calves, hamstrings, if they'll relax. Glutes, low back, relax. Oh, drape your body over that leg. Whew! We got one more inhale, exhale, fold. That was just the first one. Take a couple more breaths. Keep on chilling. And let's go. Round two. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Bring that belly button down, 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 down. If you're feeling a whole bunch of sensitivity in the knee, feel free to give it a slight bend, just a little bit. That'll take some pressure off the knee, and it'll also take some pressure off your hamstrings. When you are doing this, you should fold your chest all the way down to that leg, and then straighten out your leg at the very end. All right. That is because we want to leave the stuff that hurts your knees to the very end. This will not hurt everybody's knees, but for people who have achy knees who are already feeling it, if you leave the knee straightening to the very, very end and just give yourself a tiny bit of bend, you'll be able to still work on your hamstrings without the knee pain. All right. From here, we're ready to begin. We're going to hold this for 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Keep on breathing. Do not hold your breath. Keep on trying to relax. Let your neck, your upper back, your low back relax. Try to relax your feet, your calves, your hamstrings. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. That's our hamstring stretch. Whew. Ah, come on out of it. Breathe, chill. And we're going to switch over to the other leg. Again, we're going to bring the hips together. Neutral, square, right underneath you. We're going to extend the other leg out. We're going to fold our belly button down to that leg. Whee! If this stretch so far has had you really rounding your back, you're feeling a lot of pressure in your neck, in your upper back, in your mid back, you're probably working a little too hard. All right? We are not trying to smash our face into our knees. That is not the purpose. The goal is to fold our belly button down towards that thigh. All right? So if you are rounding your back and you're going like this, trying to turn yourself into a little ball, you're working too hard. So relax those muscles. Your back can round because it's relaxed, but it should not be rounding because you're trying to smash your knee to your face. Okay? I hope you've been breathing in this stretched out position, and I hope you're ready to inhale, exhale, fold. If you're not, we got one last one. Take another normal breath. And then inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Fold yourself into a deeper stretch and whew, breathe. Oh, relax. Relax the toes, feet, calves, legs, glutes. Breathe. Oh. And one more. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Fold. Bring that belly button down. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19. As you're relaxing, remember, toes are relaxed, feet are relaxed, calves are relaxed, hamstrings, if they'll relax, relax, glutes relax, low back relax, everything you can relax. Breathe. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, that's it. Ooh, that is our hamstring stretch. If you gotta make crazy noises, if you gotta grunt, please add them in. Make it fun. At the very least, it will make you feel a little bit better, and it will confuse all of your neighbors. That's okay, because I can't hear you. Anyways, we're gonna move on into our second stretch. All right, we don't need the cushion anymore, but if you have very slippery floors and you have something to sit on that will make it a little bit easier to stick to the ground, that will be helpful. All right. If your floor is really slippery, it might slide out when you're applying a little bit of pressure to your legs. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll understand in a little bit. All right. Let's begin by sticking our hips, our low back, our shoulders, our head up against the wall. All right. Once you are resting your whole body up against the wall, you got this nice posture for a hot second. We're going to focus on bringing our feet together and pulling it in towards our groin. All right. When you're here in this position, what I want you to focus on is bring your knees down into the ground. The butterfly stretch, this stretch, is a groin stretch. The way you stretch the groin is by pushing your knees down into the ground. If you can, I want you to use your outer thigh muscles. I want you to use your glutes to help pull your legs open, because using your muscles to bring you into that position is going to strengthen your muscles, is going to teach you how to control this position a little bit better. So give that a try. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you're like, what muscles? How the heck do I contract them? My knees are supposed to go where? Don't worry. Just focus on two things. If your knees went down just a little bit, you're good. If you're feeling more of a stretch here in your inner thighs, in the groin area, you're also good. Next, we're going to take our hands, we're going to apply a little pressure on the inside of our knees. All right. If your knees are out here, we're going to come in 2 or 3 inches. Then we're going to push straight down. When you push straight down, your legs should go down a little bit, but your shoulders should also go back. So the back of your head is probably pushing into the wall. And if you're feeling that right now, you're going, ooh, that's a little uncomfortable. That's okay. That's normal. All right. Next, I want you to breathe. Inhale, exhale. Another one. Inhale, exhale. Keep going. On the next exhale, I want you to push your legs a little bit deeper. All right. And push. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. While you're doing this, I want you to slowly experiment. Flexing your glutes, flexing your outer thighs. I want you to figure out which muscles, when you start flexing, start pulling your legs in the right direction. Which muscles that you start flexing push you against your hands and make the push a little bit harder. As you practice, as you learn what's going on with your leg muscles, you'll be able to control it better and everything will get easier from here. I promise. 13, 12, 11, 10. Keep on pushing those legs down. 9, 8, 7. It shouldn't hurt. It should not be comfortable, but it should not hurt. All right. Sometimes on the show, I exaggerate and I groan and I make lots of noises and I go, ah. It should not hurt. It should be uncomfortable. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. That is our stretch. You can let the hands go. The legs will slowly come up. If you have learned something about your leg muscles, maybe you can control it. Maybe you can pull your legs back down. You can be like, whoa, look at what I learned today. If you can't, you haven't figured it out quite yet, that's totally fine. It's not a big deal. I want you to start flapping the wings of your butterfly. All right. I want you to bring your knees up and drop them down and bring them up and drop them down. If you were going real hard for that first time, your legs are kind of tired, you can't figure out how to lift your legs, they're just kind of like really weakly flopping around, you can grab them, give them a nice shake and go, hey, wake up, we got stuff to do. Don't make me look bad. And then do the other side. Hey, wake up. Don't make me look bad. I got stuff to do. And, oh, that should wake up your legs and you should be able to flap them a little bit better. All right, that is stretch number 2. We're going to move on into stretch number 3. Let's go. You don't need that cushion anymore. You can get rid of it. We are going to get into our third stretch. It is called the standing pancake. What I want you to do is open up your legs nice and wide. All right, doesn't have to be crazy, doesn't have to be wild, but I do want them to be kind of wide. If you can hit about 90 degrees, that would be amazing. If you're at like 60, 70, 80, fine. No problem. What we're going to do next is double check to make sure our hips are not hurting right here. Our bone structure is going to be a little bit different for everybody. All right. So for some people, your hips might be hurting right here. For some people, you might not feel it till you're like way down deeper. That's normal. Everybody's got a little bit of variability. All right. What that means is what hurts for me might not hurt for you, and what hurts for you might not hurt for me. All right. Regardless, make sure your hips are not hurting, and we're ready to continue. Fold, bring that belly button down. Fold, 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 fold. Fold, fold, fold. Fold some more. Fold again, and bring that belly button down. Boom! This is our starting position. If your legs are a little bit closer together, that's totally fine, by the way. From here, I'm going to show you the sideways view. All right? Our legs are wide. Our belly button is folding, and we're coming down as low as we can. The goal of this stretch, the pancake, is to basically do this. Whee! And pull your whole entire upper body in between your legs. It is really hard. So what we're going to do is get gravity to help us as much as possible. Okay? What I want you to do is fold and get your upper body as close to horizontal as possible. Then we're going to increase the lever by sticking our hands up so that our biceps are by our ears. If you're a masochist and you want to make this more painful, you can hold something in your hands and lift your hands in front of you, and that will give you crazy leverage and it will pull you down into the ground. That is how we get gravity to help. All right? If you are, excuse me, if you're really close to the floor, you feel like you're going to fall into it, feel free to stick your butt back a little bit. All right? Instead of having your legs go straight up or even leaning forward, stick your hips back. When your hips go back, you can stick your arms out more to counterbalance, and your chest will come up to closer to horizontal, and everything will be even better if you can get your chest to roughly horizontal. All right? That was a lot of talking. I don't think you need any more information. Let's go. Legs are wide. Belly button is going down. Fold, fold, fold. Fold some more. Breathe. Try to relax. Extend your arms past your head. Breathe. Stick your butt back if your face is too close or your hands are too close to the ground. Breathe. And we're ready. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. Keep on breathing. Keep on trying to fold your belly button into the ground. 17, 16, 15. If it gets too intense, you don't have to keep your hands up. You can put your hands down. You can hold your hands to your chest. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. If your inner thigh muscles are going crazy, you can also bring your legs in a little closer together. They don't have to be this crazy the whole time. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, put your hands down. Oh, do a little push up. Come on out of that. Oh, If your inner thighs and your hamstrings are feeling crazy right now and you need to pause, feel free to just hang out for a hot second. Next, if you're stuck, try to wiggle your heels in, wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in, wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in, wiggle your toes in until you come back into something like an old man squatting position. All right. Slowly push off your knees and your thighs. Oh, come back into standing. Whew. That is our third stretch. If your calves, if your hamstrings and your inner thighs, I don't know why I said calves. If your hamstrings and your inner thighs are feeling crazy right now, that is normal. That is exactly what you were stretching. All right. Usually I go into a lot of explanation about why those muscles are feeling crazy, but I don't think it's that useful and important. So we're going to skip it and get right into our fourth stretch. The fourth stretch that we're going to do is got an option to it. You can do the figure four or you can do the pigeon. Either way, both stretches have the same fundamentals. We're taking one leg, we're crossing it over to the other side. We're taking that leg, we're bringing it up to the belly button, we're bringing the belly button down to that ankle. And we're going wee from the side. It looks a little bit like this. We're feeling the stretch right here in the side of the glute in this glute muscle. All right. And you might also feel it in your hamstrings. You might also feel it while you're folding in the hip. You might feel it in the outside of the leg. But the main place you should be feeling it is right here in the side of that hip in the glute muscle. I'm pretty sure we did figure four last night, so today we're going to demonstrate the pigeon. All right, the pigeon, again, once we're here in this position, looks like this. We're going to drop it straight to the ground. Bada boom, bada bang, we're here. The goal of this stretch is sort of to get this middle line from your head to your belly button to fold forward onto that leg. I like to recommend that you just kind of pick a midpoint between your knee and your ankle and try to get this midline to match that line or that point between your knee and your ankle. All right, boom. That is our pigeon stretch. This leg over here, it can be just chilling. Doesn't have to do anything at all. You can just relax right here. If you want, you can extend it back behind you and do something that looks a little bit more like this. The taller you stand up here, or bend up, I guess, the more pressure you're going to feel in the knee and the more pressure you're going to feel in this hip muscle. If you want to make it easier on yourself, the first thing you should do is definitely just fold forward. That will relax and reduce the intensity of that stretch and reduce the pressure on that knee. The second thing you can do to get that knee behind you is elevate your front leg. All right. When your leg is elevated, unless you are insanely flexible already, in which case, what are you doing on this show? But if you elevate the front leg, your hips are going to come up pretty much inevitably, which means your legs have a little bit more room to get underneath you to get into this leg extended backwards situation. All right. This you can use at any time. It doesn't have to be on a stool. You can use it with the couch. You can use it with your bed. You can use it with the coffee table. You can use it at the gym on one of those benches that you can lay back on and do bench press, or the angled ones where you can do overhead press. Cool? All right. Where am I going with this? Whatever your options, whatever you're choosing, whatever additions you're making to your pigeon, let's get into it and get it done. Leg is across the body. We're trying to get that middle line down to the midpoint between the knee and the ankle. We are folding forward, folding, 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 folding. If you want, you can extend the leg back behind you. Again, it's optional. You don't have to. And if it feels too easy for you, you want to make it harder, grab that heel, push it towards your face, and keep folding. Whew, that's it. That's everything. Hips down, fold after. 30 seconds, 29, 28, 27, 26. As you breathe, I want you to let all of the tension in your back evaporate. It's out of your abs, it's out of your low back, it's out of your chest. I want you to turn into jello and flop into the floor. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Again, if it's too easy for you, push your ankle towards your face. I don't know how it could possibly be too easy. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our pigeon number one. Smack those hamstrings. rotate the ankles, and let's get ready to get into our second pigeon stretch. Oh, switch the legs. This leg is now across the body, middle line, going to that midpoint between the knee and the ankle. Whew. Fold, 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 fold. Have your hips down first and then fold forward. Hold that ankle in place or push it towards your face if you need to make the stretch harder, and extend that leg back behind you if you want. Elevate the front leg to help. Fold forward more to help, and let's go 30. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Remember, every time you exhale, I want you to relax. I want you to turn into a little pile of jelly. I want your belly button to get a little deeper into the stretch. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're almost done. Last one. 1, 0. All right, that's it. Come on up into not the pigeon, and we're done with the pigeon stretch. That is 4 of our 5 stretches. If you're still here, if you're wondering what's going on other than whatever random stretches that you have hopped in at, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day at 9 p.m. to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and to make the suffering we do a little bit more fun. If you're not in the Eastern time zone, this is a 9 p.m. show, which means we started 43 minutes ago. And on the weekends, we have a bonus show at 9 a.m., by the way. So, coming right up, 9 a.m. in a couple hours. All right, where are we going with this? It's time to get into our 5th and final stretch. We are doing some side splits. If you've never done a side split before, don't worry. We're going to explain everything nice and slow, and you can pause at any point. All right? Before we get into actual side splits, we're going to talk about safety real quick. I want you to start with your butt up against the wall, right here, like this. Woo. I want you to take one step forward in front of the wall, so that when you're in your side split position, if you fall backwards a little bit, your butt can rest against the wall. That way, if you lose balance, you start slipping backwards a little bit, or you just get tired and you're like, oh man, what's happening? You can rest your butt against the wall. And you can always come back with a little hip thrust, whee, back into your side split. All right? If you try to do your side splits without a little bit of cushioning behind you, you're going to have to either lean forward the whole entire time, supporting your weight with your arms, or you're going to get into a situation where you lean a little too far back and go boom, oh, and you hurt your butt. We don't want that. We want you to practice consistency. This show is about practicing consistency. It's about coming back every single day and doing a little bit for your hips, for your side splits. All right? So don't get hurt and use the wall. All right? It's 12 inches. Let's go. Whew. Wall. It's 12 inches. 1 foot step in front of the wall. Open up those legs, and we're ready to begin. Open up those legs nice and wide. If you're feeling tension, pain, weirdness right here at the hips, you've gone too far. Stop. Bring the legs back in a little bit and get ready to fold. When you have folded forward, I want you to bring your belly button down. So the same as the pancake. I want you to try to put your hands down on the ground to support your weight. All right? If you cannot reach the floor, feel free to use a prop like a stool, a couple of textbooks, a coffee table, a chair, whatever it is that you can lean into for support. Go ahead and use it. From here, we are going to open up our legs a little bit wider. When you're folded forward like this, your hips should be very comfortable to get at least a little bit deeper. All right. From here, we are going to do the most important part of the entire show. We're going to rotate the leg so that the thigh bone and the hip bones don't smash into each other and they don't cause you pain again. All right. What that looks like is right now our knee is currently pointing forward, right? Like this. Our toes are pointing forward and our feet are flat on the ground. What we're going to do is rotate that leg so that the knees are pointing up, the toes are pointing up, and the heels are down. We got to do that on both sides. Boom. Heels down, toes up, knees up. Right now, you are in a side split position. Maybe you're a little bit high off the ground, but you are in a side split position. The only thing holding you back now is the length of your muscles. Your bones won't smash into each other. Whew. So, if you're new to the show, feel free to take it real slow from here or stop completely. If you are ready otherwise, let's go. We're going to do a little lean to the right, lean to the left, lean to the right, lean to the left. Use that stool, use whatever it is that you're using to support your hands, and wiggle a little bit deeper into the stretch. Okay? If you are very close to the wall, like I recommended earlier, feel free to try to sit your butt against the wall and treat it like a little bit of a chair. It won't take that much weight, it won't take that much support, but it'll make you feel a little bit lighter on your hands. Okay? When you are in this position, or a higher version of this position, as long as your knees are pointing the same direction as the top of your heads, you only have one head, your singular head, you are holding basically a side split. And we're ready to continue. Relax your toes, relax your feet, relax your calves, relax your hamstrings if those were relaxed, relax your glutes, relax your low back, breathe. Do that crazy, loud, obnoxious exhale and see if you can sink a little bit deeper into the stretch because your muscles are relaxing. We're going to hold this for 30 seconds and then we're going to move on and shake out some tension. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Walk your hands forward and then pull your legs in underneath you. Whew. Rest in that kneeling position for a second. Chill, breathe, let your legs relax. And we're going to come back into standing. We're going to shake out the tension in our legs. All right. What we did just now was get into crazy positions. All these muscles were contracting, fighting the stretch. And now we're going to try and shake out that tension so we can relax again and we can relax into a deeper second stretch. So when you're ready, come on back into standing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. If your legs are feeling tired, you're starting to stumble around a little bit like a drunk penguin, that is okay. What I want you to do is stand, put most of your weight into one leg, and gently shake out the ankle of the other leg. All right? Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. If it feels like I'm shaking really fast, if it feels like I'm shaking really hard, feel free to not shake as hard as I am. Take it nice and gentle for you. And know that the main thing, the most important thing, is that your ankle is flopping around, it's relaxed. All right. We're not just doing ankle circles. We're not just flexing the foot and pointing the toe. We're just shaking out the ankle. All right. The reason why this is important is because when your ankle is moving around in all these directions, all the muscles that control the ankle that are tied to the movement of that ankle have to be relaxed in order for your ankle to be flopping around. And now that you know the principle, let's go switch to the other side. Start nice and gentle, shake out that ankle, shake it forward and back, shake it side to side, shake it in circles, wiggle it around, let it go crazy, flop, 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 flop. And when you're ready, put it down. Hopefully, your legs are already feeling significantly better than before. All we did was shake out our ankle. Next, we're going to move up to our hips. I want you to put all your weight into one leg, and I want you to put the big toe of the other foot down on the ground with your knee bent. I want you to turn that leg in towards your other knee, and I want you to open up that leg to the outside. Internal, external rotation. And I want you to practice this a little bit. Notice the rest of the body is not moving. The only thing that's moving is this thigh bone where it connects into the hip. Okay? And we got a couple of hip muscles that are doing all the work. Bring your knee in, bring your knee out, bring it in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. This movement by itself should help you feel a little bit more comfortable, let those crazy tight muscles relax. But as you get more skilled at this, you can take it up to another level of relaxation. You don't have to do this right now. I'm just going to talk about it real quick. You can extend one leg, So it's nice and straight. You lean even more weight into the standing leg, and then you can keep on using those same muscles we were just using, rotating the leg in and out. Start shaking faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster until your leg looks like it's made of jello and your whole entire thigh is flopping around all over the place. That is going to have a lot of relaxation happening to your leg. I don't know if that is the right use of having it happen to your leg and calling it relaxation. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's okay. You get what I'm saying. Shake that leg, shake it real hard, let it flop, let all the muscles go all over the place, and your legs should be relaxed enough for us to get into side split number 2. All right? Let's go. Stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall. Open up those legs. Make sure your hips aren't hurting right here. If they are, bring the legs back and get ready to fold so that the belly button right here goes straight down into the ground. Whee! Boom. Here we are. We are in the beginning stages of side split number 2. See if you can open up your legs a little bit wider without discomfort. Stick your hands down on the ground for a little support. Put a little bit of support under your hands if you need to, if you want to. Remember, stay close enough to the wall so that you can pause and you can always rest your butt on the wall if you start falling backwards. All right. Next, we're going to do the most important part of this whole entire show. We're rotating the legs so that the thigh bones don't smash into the hip bones. What I want you to do is go boom, heels down, toes up, knees up. Same thing on the other side. Boom, heels down, toes up, knees up. Wherever you are, however high you are up in the air, this is a side split and you've done it. Now, we're going to inhale, exhale, and try to relax and see if we can drop a little bit deeper into the stretch. We're going to lean to the right. We're going to lean to the left. We're going to see if we can get a little bit deeper into the stretch. If you are close enough to the wall, feel free to get back into the position where you're in just before, where you're resting your butt against the wall and you are sitting a little bit more straight up. All right? As you chill here for the second and get a little bit deeper, and a little bit deeper, and a little bit deeper, we're going to introduce a slightly different variation of the stretch. We're going to walk our hands forward one step. So it looks like we're about to do some push-ups. Okay? And you're going to notice that the stretch rotates. It's instead of feeling it in your hamstrings, you start feeling it in your inner thighs. And that is what we want. We need this muscle, the adductors, spelled ADDUCTOR, to get stretched as well for the side split. So now that you are walking your hands forward, we're ready to begin. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Feel free to do another little wiggle to the side to push those legs out just a little bit further. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Walk your hands forward a little bit more. Pull your legs in underneath you and come on out of that stretch. Woo! That is our second stretch. Oh, man. Breathe. Exhale. Chill. Relax. And we're going to come back into shaking so we can get into enough relaxation for side split number 3. Come on up. And let's shake out that ankle. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. As you get more comfortable, as you get a couple of reps under your belt, feel free to shake a little bit faster, shake a little bit more aggressively. You can always start nice and gentle and then pick it up as you go. Switch to the other side. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Again, this is about relaxing the ankle, relaxing all the muscles that connect and control the ankle so that that part of your legs starts feeling a little bit looser, starts getting ready to move and do other things. All right. Next, we're going to move up to the hips. All your weight is in one leg. Big toe, the other foot is down. We're rotating in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. We're building up strength and control here in the hip. That's where all the movement is coming from. The rest of the body is not moving at all. And we're going to switch to the other side. All your weight is one leg. Big toe is down. In, out, 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 in, out. You can take it slower. You can really control the muscles and really open up that leg, contract your glutes to pull that leg all the way out. You can bring that knee all the way in and really crush your legs together. Or you can be a little bit more gentle and take it nice and chill. All right? That, hopefully, should have your legs feeling a little bit looser, feeling a little bit better. If you want, you can shake a little bit more aggressively. We talked about this a little bit earlier, and I won't cover it again, but we'll finish with the third round and we'll cover it again. All right, that hopefully has your legs feeling nice and loose. We are going to move right on into side split number 3. Let's go. Stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall. Open up those legs nice and wide. Fold at the belly button. Bring it down to the ground. Hands down. Elevate the hands if you want, if you need to. And get a little bit deeper into that stretch. Externally rotate the legs so that your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are up. Heels are down, toes are up, and knees are up. Sink into that stretch, breathe. Drop the hips, do a little wiggle to the left, a little wiggle to the right, a couple more wiggles. Walk your hands back towards your hips. Breathe. Relax. Relax the toes, relax the feet, relax the calves, the hamstrings, the glutes, the low back. Inhale. Exhale. All right, now you got the option. Third and final side split. You can do whichever version of the stretch you want. If you want to sit back, do the one that focuses more on the hamstrings in this position, great. If you want to lean forward a little bit more and feel a little bit more of a stretch on your inner thighs, awesome. Pick your poison and let's get ready to go. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26. Don't hold your breath. Keep on breathing. Do a little wiggle from side to side from time to time. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, that's it. We're done. Oh, walk your hands forward. Oh, pull your legs in underneath you. Oh, and that is our third and final side split. Whew. If your legs are super tired, that's normal. If you felt like it was easier to get into the stretch, but it started getting harder to get out of the stretch, that's also normal. We're going to come back into standing. Let's shake out our legs one last time, and then we'll get ready to wrap up. We're doing pretty good on time. It's almost 10. All right, let's go. Shake out that ankle. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Shake it again. Wiggle again. Flop some more. And let's go to the other side. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. And whew, hopefully your ankles are feeling a little bit looser. You don't have to go right into crazy ankle stuff right away, like I just did. Feel free to take it nice and slow. Go, interesting. Interesting. And then slowly pick up the intensity from there. All right. Next, we're going to get into some hip stuff. Let's go. All your weight is one leg. Big toe is down. We're doing the in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. If you've been doing the show for a while, or you're ready to try something a little bit harder, you can try to extend your leg out to the side. Get it nice and straight. Put all of your weight into this standing leg, and you can keep on rotating the same muscles that you were using to bring the leg in and out from here, right? It's going to be feeling a little bit different. And if you can, I want you to pick up the pace. I want you to shake a little harder. I want you to relax the thigh muscles. There's still no weight in that leg, right? And I want you to have that whole entire thigh relax while you shake really aggressively and really hard with the hip muscles. And whew, get them to turn it into jello looking stuff, and that is some more relaxation for you. All right. Same thing on the other side. Foot is down, big toe is down. Feel free to start with this, and as you get more comfortable, do a little bit more aggressive version of that shake. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Again, you should be feeling your thighs go blah, 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 shaking all over the place. It might even get a little bit itchy because your flesh is just going all over the place. That is normal. All right. We're going to move on into some joint checks and wrap up for realsies. Let's go. We're going to start with some very slow hip circles. Lean into that hip. Oh, fold forward. Oh, off to the side. Oh. After we've done the joint checks, I'll sit down, take a look at the chat. I know I haven't looked at it in a while, or at all, actually. I try my best to make sure that the regulars on our show get the experience where we get through the show as fast as possible. And so I try to limit the Q&A to the very end for the people who want to ask questions, for people who want a little bit more insight into something. Because as you do more and more and more of these, you start hearing a lot of the things over and over and over again. And I want to make sure the show still serves you because at the end of the day, we're here to practice consistency, right? Oh, okay. We've done a whole bunch of these hip circles. At some point, hopefully you reversed. I did not. I only just started. But hopefully you found that your hips are feeling okay now because you just spent so much time doing hip circles. Next, we're going to do a quick high knee. Lift that knee high, as high as you can. And then we're going to pop into a squat from which we are going to do some calf raises. All right. I want you to have your feet right underneath you, maybe about hips width apart, straight down. Then I want you to fold and get into a squat position. My nose is super itchy. It's been super itchy all day. I think it's because it's finally spring and maybe I'm more allergic to pollen than I thought. Uh, Cats, pollen. I feel like my allergies are getting worse and worse. I don't know what's going on. I'm like an adult. Why are my allergies getting worse? Anyways, from here, we are sitting into a squat. We're bringing our chest down towards our knees. We are pushing our knees as far forward as we can so that we're feeling the stretch here in the Achilles tendon and in the calves. So right now, because we're leaning forward, you should be feeling your toes working real hard to keep you from falling forward. It's gripping the floor. The arch of your foot should be working real hard to keep you nice and stable. You should be feeling that Achilles tendon stretch. You should be feeling your calves be nice and tense. You can poke them to double check. And your quads are probably already complaining. All right? From here, we're going to do a couple of calf raises. You can put your hands down if you'd like. Come on up onto those toesies. Take it as slow or fast as you want. If you're going to do it slow and controlled, great. If you can't do it quite so slow and quite so controlled yet, that's also fine. I want you to try your best to come straight up so that your weight is balanced between your big toe and your index toe. All right, lean forward, big toe, index toe, big toe, index toe, big toe, index toe. If you try, lost the earbud. Sorry, TikTok audience. If you try to spread the weight across your whole entire front of the foot, you might get something that looks a little bit like this, like a little plie. That is fine, I guess, but we really want that straight up and down. All right. Whew. If you've done a couple of those and you're able to get, 75% of that movement done, then chances are your toes, your feet, your ankles, your calves, your knees, your hips, they're all working pretty good together. And that's a good sign that you can go back to doing whatever you had to do today. I need to sneeze so bad. Oh my gosh. Oh, oh, okay. And with that, we're done with our show. There's still 70-ish people over on TikTok and half a dozen on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the live. I hope you enjoyed the workout. I hope now that we're just chilling and talking, you're cooling off, you're testing your mobility and feeling good. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow. This live is 9 p.m. every single day. 9 p.m. as in we started an hour and 5 minutes ago. And that time is consistent Monday through Sunday. But on the weekends, aka very soon, we have bonus lives at 9 a.m. in the morning. So an hour and 5 minutes ago, add 12 hours to that, and that is our morning time. All right. If you would prefer to start your day with a little bit of side splitty hip mobility action, instead of ending your day with a little bit of side splitty hip mobility action, feel free to come back and hang out for that. What else? I make other content. The side splits pretty much are siloed into this live format, and they started because I wanted to practice consistency and hold myself accountable, and now it's turned into this awesome show where we all hang out and we do some side splits together. But I make other content. Some of it is calisthenics skill type content, and I recently made a video about the crow pose, which looks a little bit like this. You balance your knees on your triceps, you lean forward, and you balance everything on top of that. And this is a cool move because you can do cool things like handstands from it, and you can learn how to balance yourself for that type of skill, starting with that easier crow pose position. But that position also has siblings. One of them is called the frog stand, where instead of balancing your knees on top of your triceps, you kind of stick your elbows into your knee bows, and then you go wee and you go forward like that. That is another tutorial that's also on YouTube that you can go check out. There's one final skill tutorial that is out. I think it's about 3 weeks old at this point, and it looks a little bit like this. Whee! It's called the elbow lever. You basically balance a plank on your elbows, and as you get stronger, you can start manipulating it and doing cool things with it. That is a whole bunch of content I have available as normal YouTube videos. And I would love it if you guys went and checked it out and then came back and asked me questions. Because I am trying to become a better teacher. I'm trying to be a better instructor. I'm trying to make better YouTube videos. So if you guys give me some feedback, because you've tried it and you're like, huh, Ken, this makes absolutely no sense. Or Ken, I'm struggling with this thing and you didn't explain it at all. That would be very useful for me to learn and for me to redirect my attention to when I teach. Luckily, we have this live show every single day and on weekends twice a day. So if you do find the time to check out those videos, you can come right back after the live and we can talk about it. Cool? Ask me any questions and I'll be here to answer them. All right, that is my spiel. I'm gonna check some comments and then we'll wrap up for the evening. All right. Queen R says, "Let's go." Rogerio, David, Nicholas Rodri 4294 says, "Cool," and says, "Thank you for taking the time to teach this class. This is good information." Thank you. That's so nice. I appreciate that. Psyduck is cool. Says hi. Hello, hello. Oh, that's cool. All right. YouTube was light on the comments. Over here on TikTok, I'm gonna scroll to the very tippity top as fast as I can to see if I can get as much of the chat as possible. I have noticed that I am not able to scroll really far back anymore. Like old comments seem to just get cut off at some point, and I stopped getting those comments. But the first comment that I'm seeing is Yvette with 6,000 hands up emojis. Wow, I don't know what happened. After that sneeze, my whole face is like completely messed up. I can't even breathe anymore. What's going on? Yvette says yes. Okay, yes, but no. I don't know what's going on with this. Hold on. Whoa. It disappeared. Okay, cool. Yvette says thank you. All right. Yvette says no, never. Yvette, I don't know what you're responding to anymore. And Yvette says nice. Okay. All right. I'm confused. Am I missing part of the chat? I don't know what's going on, but some of the chat is definitely missing for me because I'm watching Yvette have a conversation with herself. I don't know how this works or why it's happening, but I imagine I'm gonna need to. Okay. Um. Okay. Okay. I'm scrolling some more, and thank you for today. Josh True says, made it to the end. Sore AF. Awesome, Josh. Josh has been on the live very consistently for a while now and keeps on sending me progressively more crazy videos of moves that we should try to do on the live. And I don't know if I'm emotionally ready for them because they're not like just a little bit harder than the content on this live. They're like significantly more difficult than the content on this live. So if he tells you he's tired, mm, who knows what he's doing? This guy. Travel with Roxy sends some sweaty faced emojis. And Chase says, stop by to say hi. Oh, hello, hello, hello. Oh, Travel actually says, are you still thinking of trying a vintage live? Okay, so I recently hit 15,000 followers on TikTok and 5,000 subscribers over on YouTube. One of the best performing pieces of content on both platforms was related to doing some Taibo and failing bad on both platforms. So I was wondering if you guys would be interested in doing a vintage style live follow along. We'll just find, I don't know, some video over on YouTube to watch. Maybe it'll be just an original old school Taibo video and we'll do it together and suffer together. So if that sounds interesting, let me know. I am not sure. I got past the computer with actually all of the conversations from earlier today. So I'm gonna scroll through that and see what's up. Oh, Lulu's back. Hi, Memhua. Oh man, I don't know what's going on with my nose. I sneezed like twice, and now my whole nose has literally exploded. I'm sorry if it sounds gross. Um, April Ledgerwood Rob says a lot like my old ballet warm-ups. Absolutely, absolutely. Travel Darcy says yes, definitely take your time. Okay, okay, okay. I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling. Diane says, I need this. Amazing. All right. Keep scrolling, keep scrolling, keep scrolling. Yvette is having an awesome conversation. Okay, so she was responding to herself back and forth because probably something I said that was really smart. Okay. Do 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 do. Vintage workout during live. And says, oh, I can't do that right now. It's okay. Buddha says, I can see past that and I just joined. Oh, that's crazy. I wonder why. I'm gonna just double check. Yeah, the first thing I can see chat wise is Yvette sending a whole bunch of hands. That's weird. That I, as the person doing the live on mobile, can't see it, but I can watch myself on a computer. All right, let's see. Do 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 do. It's really weird to see another device doing the same action that I just did because I see the live version of me, like of the recording right here, and then over here I see it responding a couple seconds later, and it's making me go crazy. All right, all right, all right. All right. Buddha Krokuta says it's the anniversary of Taibo. Billy Banks, is it the anniversary of Taibo? That's crazy. Okay, then we definitely have to do Taibo, I think. Josh asks, can you do a dedicated live for just the elbow lever in the future? I definitely can do that. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. We should probably record it too and use that for something. That's a great idea. I don't know when we're going to do it, but that will be a much more easy live than Taibo, I promise. I don't know how long a session of Taibo is going to take, but Billy Blanks and his cardio, that is killer. Okay, for some reason, I'm struggling to scroll over on the PC version. I feel like there's more to the chat, but it won't show me more. Oh no, the last comment was, can you do the live dedicated to elbow love in the future? Okay, boom, yes. Do 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 do. I'm not sure how I would schedule it and how to get enough people to know about it. So I think I'll plan to do it maybe next weekend, possibly, and I'll just start announcing that we're gonna do an elbow lover focused live pretty much every single day until that day, and that will be how I tell the world that we're doing an elbow lover live. Sound good? All right. Let's see what else we got. What else we got? We got a lot of joined notifications. Amazing. Awesome, 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 awesome. And that looks like it's everything. All right. Four. Oh, wow. We're doing really good on time. 75 minutes. We just wrapped up a 75-minute live side split stretching and hip mobility workout. We do this every single day at 9 p.m. And on the weekends, we do a bonus live at 9 a.m. So in case you want to start your day with side splits and hip mobility stuff, you can do that tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, Saturday? I'm going crazy. Let's see. What else? make other content. Most of it is around trying to integrate fitness into your normal life, and some of it is doing cool calisthenic skills because it's always fun to look cool. And the cooler you look, the cooler you feel, the easier it is to stay consistent, right? So, if you like all those things, calisthenics, mostly side splits and hip mobility, and practicing consistency, because that's really the purpose of this show, then make sure to keep coming back at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you don't know what 9 p.m. Eastern means, because you're in a completely different time zone, it is currently 10:16. So this live started an hour and 16 minutes ago. And you should just keep coming back for that time. Cool? Cool. Is there anything else I need to talk about? I can't think of anything else. Vintage. Oh, there was a question about the vintage. We're definitely doing vintage. I would like to do it this weekend, honestly. It might replace one of the regular lives, and it might not. I honestly have not locked it down to a exact time or an exact program. I haven't chosen a video yet to do, but seeing as somebody mentioned it's like a Taibo anniversary on Billy Blink's channel, that is a really good reason to do some Taibo. Cool. Um, I will keep you guys posted, either as TikTok posts stories, TikTok story, which I don't think very many people watch, but TikTok story, and I will also post it on YouTube if I have information to give you. All right. Otherwise, keep a lookout, hit subscribe, hit follow, and I will see you guys shortly. Next live is at 9 a.m. Eastern, and that is in 10 hours and 45 minutes, 10 hours and 43 minutes. So I'll see you guys real soon. What healthy food do you recommend? I, wow, okay. I generally recommend you stick with basic foods. Uh, if you're in a place where beans and rice is easily available, rice and beans is a good staple to get your basic protein. And I recommend you build up from there. Beans are really good. Soybeans are really, really, really good. Like if you break down what exact components of your amino acids soybeans have, they are like way better than most other beans. But if you have black beans, pinto beans, whatever beans, that's cool. Rice and beans is a great foundation to your diet. If you want to start your day with oatmeal with some fruits, that's also good. Generally, I recommend heavily vegetables and being thoughtful about your protein consumption if you're doing a lot of exercise. If you're not doing a lot of exercise, you're not trying to build a lot of muscle, it's not nearly that important. Plenty of people have lived just fine for a really long time with much less protein than we need to eat as US peoples. Um, I think the US consumes more meat than like any other country, like on a per person basis. So if you have meat pretty often, you're probably fine for the normal average person. If you're trying to build a lot of muscle, you're trying to be the fastest growing like muscular person in the world, that's gonna change. But for the majority of us, should be okay. And what you should be more concerned about is making sure you got your nutritional basics. Right? Oh, Colleen says I don't eat a lot of meat. Okay. In that case, step up, step up the beans for sure. Rice and beans generally together complete the essential amino acids that you need to take in from other sources that your body can't just like create from whatever you eat. And beans will keep you full. Beans are cheap. Beans are very nutritious, and everything else you can sprinkle on top and feel like you're gonna be fine. I think this is a horrible answer. Just eat beans. I think in general, the best thing you can do is train yourself to enjoy vegetables. If you like carrots because they taste sweet, if you like bell peppers because you find them sweet, if you like cucumbers because you find them sweet, those are really good, like basic staples to making sure that you eat well. If you add in some fruits and veggies, if you add in some basically beans, sweet potatoes, that type of thing, you'll be in a really good spot. When you're focusing mostly on fruits and veggies, the actual problem might be that you're not eating enough. So if you're feeling like you might be a little bit thin, you might need to step up the actual food consumption. But the hidden stuff, calories wise, tends to be in sweet drinks. Like you can drink like 1100 calories in one Starbucks drink, right? That for a lot of smaller women is like all the calories you should probably be eating in like 3/4 of a day. And that will throw off your eating situation and make you feel very confused. So, if you're having lots of really sugary drinks, that might be something to look out for and dial back a little bit on. But yeah, if you're drinking a lot of herbal teas and avoiding tons and tons and tons of sweeteners, if you're having a little bit of sugar, that's not a big deal at all. But if you're, getting 12 pumps of whatever sweetener at Starbucks, that's a lot. I think each one of those pumps is like 100 calories. So it's a lot. I might be exaggerating. I really don't know the number, but I have heard that each one of those sugar pumps is a lot of sugar. And cutting out a little bit of that specific type of sugar in that particular instance can make a huge difference for a lot of people who, like sweet drinks. It's not to say that you can't have them. It just means be thoughtful about when you have them. If you're having one every single day, that's a lot. Maybe dial back a little on those. But Colleen, you seem to have a really healthy eating situation from what you're putting in the comments. So I don't think, uh, unless you have something very specific to ask about, I don't think you're got to worry about it. These drinks are super yummy, but I only have one per year, like on my birthday or something like that. That's crazy. I mean, that's not crazy in a bad way. That's very specific and very disciplined. Um, yeah, yummy drinks, yummy foods in general, right? They're yummy because they give your brain everything that they want to be happy. Lots of calories, lots of sugar, lots of energy, and our simple human brains have not adapted to the abundance of deliciousness that exists in the world. Could you imagine 100 years ago, before like ovens were standard and useful, like having the ability to have cake any time of day? Like like what you're saying, and having the super yummy, delicious drink once a year was probably like the best case scenario for your average, I don't know, peasant in medieval Europe. If you had some sweet tart of some kind, that would be crazy, you know? So the the lifestyle that we have evolved from probably is not remotely close to the lifestyle that we can now afford to have, and our bodies can't handle all the deliciousness. So if you see it as you have to hold yourself back and you're always restricting yourself, that's probably not the most healthy way to approach food. But I guess technically it's true, right? You're not allowing yourself to eat all the sweets, all the good deliciousness, because that is craziness that your body can't handle. It's just not designed to handle, at least not on a regular basis. Um, yeah, I hope that tangent on random food stuff is helpful. At least that's my philosophy on it. Enjoy whatever you want in moderation. And if something is probably not good for you and it also tastes bad, you know, maybe consider not eating it. Because I have this problem where if I have something that looks really pretty, like a fancy cupcake, and uh, I have it there, even if I know I don't actually like that cupcake that much, just because I know it's there and it's otherwise going to waste, I'm gonna go eat it. And I recognize, like from the outside, I can recognize that that's probably not a good decision. It doesn't even taste good. I don't like it that much. It's like fine, and it's also not that good for me. But chances are I'm going to eat it anyway. So like I know that's my weakness, and so I try my best to make my decisions around not having an abundance of things I probably shouldn't be eating too much of. Uh, but yeah, I think that's the last food tangent I got. What else we got in the chat? I think that's everything. I think that's everything. Colleen makes her own smoothies. Josh Tree says protein and fiber. Yes, yes. Fiber is really important. That is a secondary, very important benefit of beans. Um, Not to make this super sad to wrap the show, but colon cancer is very, 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 very much on the rise for people in their 30s, right? I think usually in the medical world for the past couple of decades, you didn't check for colon cancer for until you were in your 40s. But there has been a huge spike of young people in their 20s and 30s who are getting it. And it seems like the general advice is we all need to have a lot more fiber. And I presume that actually, I'm not going to presume anything. Whatever the mechanism is, the recommendation is have a lot more fiber. Fiber is not at all easy to come by. And the extent to which it is hard to get enough fiber is actually absolutely insane. If you eat like a 1 pound bag of spinach, that's not remotely close to enough fiber. So you can have the biggest freaking salad and that will still not be remotely close to enough fiber. All right. Um, I don't have exact numbers because I don't remember what I was looking up when I learned about this, but uh, fiber is really hard. So prioritize some fiber and figure that out alongside your protein. I think beans do a really good job of getting a combination of both. I think chia seeds are literally 100% fiber. I don't know what the how that works, but they're really really high in fiber, and that might be helpful. Chia seeds, I think, from normal supermarkets are like a health food, and they become super expensive. At Costco, they're much more reasonable, and I don't know how that works out, but if you can, go get them from Costco or in bulk somewhere. They basically have no flavor, so you can just sprinkle them into smoothies, and they're very, very, very full of fiber. You just drop some water on them, and they turn into this cool little gelatin drink, and you can just stick it inside your herbal teas with a little bit of sugar, and it'll taste like a delicious dessert if you like jello-y bubble tea style drinks. Um, so that's my random tip. I guess chia seeds, chia seeds, soybeans, and did I say anything else? Chia seeds and soybeans. Okay, what else do we got? My problem is candy though. Twizzlers just went up another dollar, 8.39 now. 3 years ago they were $2. What? That's insane. I didn't know Twizzlers were so expensive. Um, what's funny about Twizzlers is I think as a kid, I my parents didn't really buy that much candy, so whenever I had candy, I would always be so excited about it. And I think growing up, Twizzlers had a lot of advertisements. Um, so in my head, Twizzlers were like this next level candy. And every time I've had Twizzlers in the last forever, I'm always disappointed because I feel like they're not that flavorful, and it's mostly the texture and the ropiness that makes it fun. And yeah, makes me sad. I don't know if this is just childhood marketing, all the TV ads, all of the children's cereals, like Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, I can't remember. Cocoa Krispies were pretty good actually. I take that back. Cocoa Puffs. A lot of those cereals, I just imagine after watching the show, watching the advertisements, that they're insanely incredible. And then after having them, I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I guess I could eat a lot of this. But even as a 10-year-old, I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Disappointed. The advertising was way better than the actual snack, and I'm sad. And says, I feel so sad for young people because that fast food is addictive and other choices are rare. I think we got to have more basic skills in our primary education. I think basic cooking skills should be something that is not just left to be taught at home, especially because we are a society that orders more and more food and door dashes and all the other services. Um, and I think in general, we as a society would benefit if more people formally learned some basics about cooking instead of having to go out of their way to like learn how to cook as an adult. And that would make it so much easier for a young person to realize that, if you had some carrots, had some spinach, had some cucumbers, had some bell peppers, had some hummus as a snack, that would probably save you a lot of money compared to whatever frozen meal that you were about to buy, right? Doesn't always work out that way. And also, I just named like raw vegetables and hummus, which doesn't require any cooking at all. So that is a terrible example. But my point is, if we as a society somehow invested more time into making sure our young people knew how to cook, knew how to handle knives, knew how to cut fruits and veggies, knew how to handle themselves in the kitchen a little bit better, had a little bit more comfort there, might promote a little bit more health because it is so incredibly convenient to go to Trader Joe's, buy one of those little packaged meals for $4, stick it in the microwave, eat it, and call it a day. Or, realistically, one of those isn't enough. You need like two, maybe three. So maybe that meal looks like it's $4 at first, but it turns to $8 and then turns to $12 soon after. Um, I don't know. Convenience is really hard, right? On one hand, convenience is incredible that we can figure out how to feed ourselves in, 2 minutes in a microwave. But at the same time, that convenience comes at a price that isn't just the number of dollars that you paid for the convenience. It comes at the price of knowing what you're going to do, how you handle yourself when you don't have that convenience available. And that is when we get challenged and people stop eating well. And that is not good because food and sleep are pretty much the most important things in our lives. So, yeah, simply made foods that require not much cleaning up after is important. Yeah. Hummus and some clean vegetables is good. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, some of it is like, hey, if you have a Costco nearby and you just buy the rotisserie chicken, you got your protein handled and it's hot, you've done the hardest part. Everything else you can wing. Rice you can cook in bulk. Beans you can cook in bulk. And at the very least you'll have your basics ready to go, right? And they're very freezable. They're very fridgeable. So they will last a while in the fridge. So there's definitely some very essential basic stuff that can make a huge difference in getting your basic nutrients handled. And then if you want to get fancy from there, fine. If you're spatchcocking turkeys and stuff for Thanksgiving, incredible. You don't need to go that far. That's crazy. That's a lot of work. um, Anne says, when I was in college and working full time, I make 5 dinners ahead. Wow, amazing. I take care of a teen as a job. I'm always teaching her about eating healthy. That's amazing. That's really good. It is not easy to make time. It's often not easy to make time to do the basics from scratch, right? So I commend you on the hard work and the effort you're taking to raise your daughter or the teenager. All right, I think that is all of the chat. We talked about food, we talked about side splits, we talked about how I can't see a lot of messages in the chat, and I think we are ready to wrap for today. Alec 400 has liked the live. Thanks, Alec. All right, I am ready to wrap. It is 10:35. Oh man, we're doing really good on time the last 3 days. Whew, it's time for me to go. I'll see you guys in 10 hours and 30 minutes for tomorrow morning's live. If you like side splits and hip mobility first thing in the morning, that is where you can find it, right here in 10 and a half hours. If you prefer the regular standard time, we have this live every day at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you don't know what Eastern time is because you're not in the Eastern time zone, this live started an hour and a half ago, and that is that time that we start every single day. Cool. That's it. Hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back. We practicing consistency, working on our hip mobility, working on our side splits every day. And said one last thing. I saved the tin TV dinner trays and made veggies, potato, and a meat and froze them to take to work. Oh, that's genius. That's genius. Now you're reusing. Sorry, I was like reduce, reuse, recycle. I couldn't remember which are or what the order was. Tin trays. So thank you for sharing your thoughts on food and supporting each other in the comments and in Colleen. I think I'm gonna wrap up here. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. I am closing out. And that is not a sign of oldness. That's just a sign of craftiness and usefulness. If actually, I don't know. I've never seen this tin tray that you were describing. I think maybe like the microwave meals. Like, oh man, what's I haven't had one in a really long time, and I don't go into that section of the supermarket, so I don't know what they're called anymore. But there used to be something called like Angus Man. No, like I don't think it was like a very pleasant name. It was like Fat Boy Dinners. But as I'm saying it, it just sounds so wrong. There's no way that's what those were called. It's like something something TV dinners. At some point, I think I remember when uh, there was this one moment in time when my mom and dad were really busy because some stuff happened at home, and so to make sure that the kids were able to make sure we were able to snack and eat. Hungry Man, maybe that makes sense. That's way better than Fat Boy. Hungry Man is pretty. um, we had these TV dinners. I think they were in a tin tray, and we had to heat them up in the oven and not the. Is that possible? I don't remember. This was a while ago. Anyways, uh, I'm ready to wrap up. Thank you so much. We saved the tin trays to reuse. That makes a lot of sense. It's like made of metal. You otherwise your best case scenario would be recycle it. If you did the reduce, reuse, and recycle, you did the second best one, which is to reuse it, and that is exactly what we should be doing. Because not only do we have to take care of our bodies, we should take care of the random resources that we accumulate. And says, yes, we only had ovens. Okay, then that must be what it is. No microwaves until 1985. All right, maybe you're a little bit older than I thought. All right. We are closing out. Have a good day. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Goodbye.